Hello, students, and welcome in the online session of Class 7th Science, Chapter 9 Soil. This is the new chapter we are starting today, and it's the first video. So, let us see what we are going to do today. So, today we'll cover the topic Introduction to the Soil, then the soil teeming with life. Okay, that soil has life present in it. Then we'll learn about soil pollution, then soil profile, and the different types of soils. So let's start first with the introduction part. So here in the pictures you can see the soil. Okay. Now soil is one of the most important natural resource. Okay. Why we are calling it as natural resource? Because it is present in nature. It is a gift of nature to us. Okay. Humans cannot make the soil. So soil is present in nature. It's a God gift to all of us. So it's a natural resource. And why we call it resource? Because it is useful for us. Anything which is useful to us is called as a resource. So and the soil is present in nature. So we call it as a natural resource. Okay. So soil is a natural resource. It is the uppermost layer of the earth crust. Okay. Outermost layer of the earth is called as the soil. Okay, so it is the uppermost layer of the earth crust with blackish brown color. Now you all know that soil is of different colors. Sometimes in some places it is red color, at some places it is of black color, and sometimes it is brown color, then somewhere it is blackish brown colored soil. So it depends from area to area, but soil is the uppermost top layer of the earth. Now the importance of soil is that it supports the plants can only be grown in the soil. Okay, because this soil hold the plant firmly. Okay, plants have roots, and what these roots do, these roots hold the particles of the soil and stand straight. So soil plays a very important role in the growth of plants, and you all know that root part of the plant absorbs the water and minerals for the plants. But from where this water and minerals are coming? So this water and minerals are coming from the soil. So soil plays a very important role as it helps the plant to stand straight, and it also provides water and minerals to the plant. Then this soil also acts as a natural habitat for many animals. Habitat means living place. So this soil is a living place for many of the animals. Many insects, many small animals live in the soil. You can see a picture here of earthworm. So this earthworm lives in the soil, and this earthworm is called as the friend of the farmer, because when this earthworm moves in the air, it makes the soil loose. It goes inside, then it comes out, it goes inside and comes out. So it keeps the soil loose. And when the soil becomes loose, air can go inside, and which is very important for the growth of the plants. Okay, so earthworms, fungus, many of the bacterias, snakes, rabbits, rats, they all live inside this soil. So it is the living place for many of the animals. Fine. And soil is also very important for agriculture, for growing plants. Soil is very important. Without plants, without soil, the plants cannot be grown, and the demand, the food supply for the people cannot be fulfilled. Okay, so this is the importance of soil. Now let's see soil teeming with life. That soil has life present in it. Soil has living organisms present in it. So soil contains air, water, and countless living organisms. Okay, soil has air also, soil has water also, and that is why soil is a place where many of the living organisms can live. Earthworms can live, fungus, bacteria, rodents, means rabbits, rats, they all can live. Some animals are very small, very very small, which cannot be seen with our open eyes. We cannot see some of the microorganisms, so we have to use a microscope to see them. So such small animals also live in the soil. One of the very important living being in soil is earthworms. Okay, so it is mostly visible in the rainy season, and as I have told you that earthworm is called the farmer's friend, because the earthworm makes the soil loose. Okay, so proper air can go inside, and in this way earthworms increase the fertility of the soil. Okay, when proper air, proper water goes in the soil, then soil becomes fertile. Okay, fertile means now the soil is very good for the growth of the plants. Okay, if the plant will not get proper air, then also the plant will not survive. So these earthworms are helping the farmers to make the soil loose, so that proper air can go inside. Okay, so earthworms are farmers' friends. Now let's see what is soil pollution. Okay, so sometimes what happen, you might have seen that sometimes people throw some plastic articles. Here you can see, right, some plastic articles, polythene bags we throw in. We also have an habit that we throw it in the soil. After eating something, the wrappers we just throw in the soil if we do not found any of the dustbins. Then what happens, these you can see here, these tires, okay, these plastics, they all are non degradable. They cannot be broken down into smaller pieces, so they remain in the soil only. Okay, when they remain in the soil, they pollute the soil, they make the soil bad, they make the soil, they destroy the soil. Some other substances like chemicals and pesticides also pollute the soil. Now you know that to increase the growth of the plant, fertilizers are used. We uh, put some of the medicines, we put on some of the chemicals in the soil so that the plants can grow very quickly. So those chemicals, those pesticides, those insecticides, to kill the insects, to kill the pest, we just spray on the plants and soil. So all these things are polluting the soil. Okay, they are damaging the soil. And to prevent the soil pollution, one should prevent use of polythene bags. So to keep our soil safe, we should not use the polythene bags, because after using we just throw in soil, and that causes soil pollution. So what we should do, and polythene we all know that it is non degradable, it does not decompose, it does not breaks. So polythene bags should be banned. The use of pesticides in the soil or field should be reduced. Okay, so we should not use the chemicals, pesticides, fertilizers in the soil, because that also reduces the fertility of the soil. Okay, now in the picture you can see soil pollution. What are the causes? Industrial waste which is coming from the industries also mix in the soil. Okay, then bad soil management. Okay, not taking proper care of the soil is also a cause for soil pollution. Then fuel leakage. Sometimes some petrol gets leaked in the soil, or some sewage line get leaked in the soil. So they all cause pollution of the soil. And what happens because of this pollution? Soil fertility is decreased. Soil is not good for the growth of plant then. Soil erosion. Okay, soil erosion means removing the top layer of the soil. And how the top layer will be removed? It can be removed either by wind or with water. So you know what is the main reason for soil erosion? Why the soil is taken away by the running water, or why the soil is carried away by the wind? Because the soil becomes loose. And why the soil become loose? Because we are cutting the trees. If we cut the trees, then nobody is there to hold the soil particles. Plant roots, they hold. You can see here how the plant root has hold the soil particles. Okay, so plants are very important. If we cut the plants, soil get loose, and then soil erosion increases. That means carrying away of the soil with the wind and water increases. And toxic dust. Okay, the soil pollution causes toxins in the soil, and which is very bad for the growth of the plants as well as for the animals which are living in the soil. Okay, now next is soil profile. So, soil is formed by breaking down of rocks by the action of wind, water, or climate, and this process is called weathering. So, here you have to learn this new concept, that what is weathering. So, what we said, that soil is formed by the rocks. Okay, big stones are called rocks, and these rocks, when break into small pieces, then they form soil. And how these rocks will be broken? These rocks will be broken by the action of wind. Wind helps to break the soil, water helps to break the soil, and climate means temperature, humidity. These all are the reasons, climatic factors, they all help to break the rocks into small pieces. And this breaking of the rocks into small pieces with the help of wind, water, climate, this process is called weathering. Okay, so question comes, what is weathering? So what you will write, weathering is the process of breaking of rocks into small pieces with the help of wind, water, climate, and this is called weathering. Okay, so during this process, rocks are worn away to form small particles. So with the help of weathering, rocks break into small particles. Okay, but this process is a very slow process. Means it will not complete within 1 month or 1 year. It will take millions of years. Millions of years will be taken. So it is our responsibility to protect the soil, to conserve the soil. Okay, do not pollute the soil, because soil is formed in millions of years again. If soil will be polluted, then no plants will be grown and we will not get food to eat. Fine. Now here in this diagram you can see the vertical section through different layers of the soil. These are the different, this is the vertical section. Vertical means a standing section like this, which shows all the layers of the soil. This is first layer, second layer, third layer, fourth layer, and this vertical section is called the soil profile. Okay, so this also question comes, what is soil profile? So what you will write, the vertical section through which different layers of the soil can be seen, this is called the soil profile. Okay, so here you can see this is the uppermost layer, and on this layer you can see the vegetation, the plants, and this first layer is called the A horizon or the topsoil. Okay, this is the name, A horizon or the topsoil. Then second layer is B horizon and its name is subsoil. Then third is C horizon, and the last one is bed rocks. Okay, bigger rocks, big size rocks are present in the lower layer. So let's study them. So the first one is, in the soil profile we can see firstly A horizon, which is the top soil. So it is the topmost layer of the soil. Fine, it is present at the top, so it is called the topmost layer. Now it is dark in color and it is rich in humus. Okay, so what is humus now? Humus is the dark brown colored layer that contains dead remains of plants and animals. When the plants and animals die, they mix in the soil. So, plants and animals' dead bodies are rich in nutrients. So, that means that upper layer, which has the particles of dead bodies of plants and animals, it is very rich in nutrients. And that dark colored, soil is called humus. So this top soil has humus present in it, and it is the topmost layer and dark in color. Then this layer is very soft also. Okay, porous. It has holes so that air can go inside, and it has the ability to retain water also. Okay, and this layer of the soil can hold the water also. Okay, so this is A horizon. Now next one is B horizon. B horizon is also called the subsoil. It is below the topsoil, so it is called subsoil. So it has lesser humus. As I have said, that humus is the dark colored layer which is rich in the nutrients. Fine, which is rich in the dead bodies of plants and animals. So this subsoil has less humus because humus is present in topsoil. So subsoil has very less humus, and but it has more minerals. So you have to remember that the second layer, B horizon, is rich in minerals. This B horizon is harder and much compact. Like we have seen that topsoil is soft, but this B horizon is little harder. Then these are less fertile and contain less living organisms. Okay, this is less fertile. Less nutrients are present in it, and less living organisms live in this layer. More living organisms are present in the A horizon only. Then this layer is also rich in iron oxides. Okay, this layer is rich in minerals as well as in the iron compounds. More iron is found in this layer also. Okay. Then the third one is the sea horizon. Now sea horizon is called weathered parent rocks. It is made up of small lumps of rocks. Okay, in the sea horizon small rocks are found. Fine. And these rocks have some cracks also in them. And when the bed rocks comes, the last layer, it is the lowermost hard layer, very hard layer, because it is non-porous. Non-porous means it does not has holes and can produce the soil for long time. Okay, this layer is difficult to dig with spade. Okay, because it is very hard, as it has completely big size rocks. So water cannot go down the bedrock. Okay, water gets collected on the upper side of the bedrocks only, because bedrocks are difficult to dig. We cannot dig the bedrocks because the size of the rocks is very large here. Fine. So this is about the soil profile. So in the vertical section, we can see four different layers. One is the A horizon, that is the topsoil, which has humus. It is dark colored. It is soft. Okay, it has plants also, and living organisms also live in this layer. Then B horizon, which is also called subsoil, and it is little harder, and it has minerals and iron content also. Then third one is sea horizon. In this small rocks are present, and in the bedrocks there are large sized rocks. Okay. Now let's move on to the layers of the soil. We have first studied soil profile. Now let us study the different layers of soil. When you mix some soil in the water in a glass, okay, so you can see the different layers of the soil. You can do this activity at home also. Take some soil in a glass and pour water in it and just stir it, and then keep it for some time. Do not disturb it. Keep it for half an hour or 1 hour. Do not disturb it, and then you can see different layers of the soil. So on the upper side you can see some dry leaves and dry sticks will be floating upside, and that is nothing but the humus. Okay, so on the uppermost part you can see the humus. Then you will see here the clean water below the humus. Then you can see clay particles. Very small sized soil particles are clay. Then little bigger size particles you will see, that is the sand particles, and very big size particles you can see at the bottom because they are heavy, so they settle down and they are called gravel. Okay, these are the different types of the soils on the basis of size of the particle. Fine, so this you will study now, but these are the layers which can be seen. So you have to learn these, that on the upper side you will get humus, then clean water, then clay, then sand, and then gravel. Fine. Now let us move on to the soil types. How many types of soils we can see? So three different types of soils you have to study here: sandy soil, clay soil, and loamy soil. In short, you can say sand, clay, and loam. So the mixture of rock particles and humus is called soil. Okay, now soil is a mixture. Soil has humus also, means the dead bodies of plants and animals, and soil has rock particles also, because soil is made up of rocks. So rock particles plus humus makes the soil. So soil is classified on the basis of proportion of particles of various sizes. So in the soil we can see different size particles. Okay. When you touch the soil you can see sometimes it is very small, very fine powdered form. Sometimes if you take the soil it will be, you can see the particles are of bigger size. Okay. So soil are of different types on the basis of the size of the particles. Okay. So if the particle size is very big, then the soil is called sandy soil. Fine, sandy soil. And if you take it in hand and just pour it down, it will flow like free flowing. It will not stick to your hand also, because the particle size is very big. In the desert area, this sandy soil is found. Okay, so sandy soil has a very big size particle. Then very fine particle size soil is called clay soil. Okay, this clay soil means this soil contains the particles of very small size. So this soil is very sticky, very sticky. Then very large and fine particles. Okay, large and fine particles means medium sized particles. Very big are sandy soil, then very small are clay soil. And in between means fine particles, large size but fine also. That soil type of soil is called loamy soil, and this loamy soil is very good for the growth of the plants. Out of these, if the question comes which is the best soil for the growth of plants, so you will say loamy soil. Okay, see, you can see here loam, you can see here sand, and you can see here clay also. Okay, so here also there are some types of soils. You can see the size of the particles is different in every case. Okay, now let's move on to the first one, that is sandy soil you have to study. Now sand particles are very large. You can see the deserts here. So this is the sand. Okay, you can see air also. Air. You can see the holes here, right? So this is the passage for the air to go inside. So sand particles are large and they cannot fit together. Okay, they are not sticking to each other. They are loose. Large spaces are present between the particles. Okay, you can see here the space. There are holes. Here also you can see. So these particle size is very big and they are not sticking to each other. They have space present in them, and this space is filled with air. You know that wherever there is space, air gets filled in it. Now sand is well aerated, means sand soil has a lot of air present in it. Water can drain quickly if you pour water in it. Then what will happen? Now it has pores, it has space between, so water will not retain here, water will not remain here, water will go deep inside the layers of the soil. Means this top soil will remain dry only, because it has large spaces and that space is filled with air, so it cannot hold water. If you pour the water in this type of soil, the water will go down in the layers of the soil. Water will not retain here. Retain means water will not be holded in this layer. This layer cannot hold water. Okay. Now, so water content is less. So this is very clear that if air is more, so water will be less in this type of soil. That's why it is not preferred for the growth of the plants. Now, the next one is clay soil. So here you can see the particles are small. Okay, you can see how much the particles are sticking to each other. Okay, so particles are very small and they are tightly packed. So it has little space for air. So when particles are very close, that means air is present very less. It can hold the water between the particles. Fine, when there is less air and particles are sticking, that means this soil can hold water. Like sandy soil cannot hold water, but this clay soil can hold water. Okay, that's why it is called chikni mitti also. Fine, so it can hold more water. They are heavy as they hold water. So this soil is heavy because it has water also in it. Toys, pots, and statues are made by this soil. So this soil can be used to make the toys, pots, okay, matkas. Okay, by clay soil can be used to make the matkas. Statues of the idols can be made by using clay soil. Now next is loamy soil. So this is the best top soil to grow the plants. Among these three which we are studying, loamy soil is the best to grow the plants. So it is a mixture of sand, silt and clay. So it's a mixture of sand and clay as well. Means the particle size is not very small and the particle size is not very big. It is medium sized particles and it has humus also, and it can right hold water holding capacity. Means this soil can hold air also and this can hold water also. When plants get both air and water, then plants can grow very easily. So this soil is very good for the growth of plants. Silt occurs as deposits in riverbeds. This loamy soil is found, rivers when they flow, they carry sand particles with it. And at the bed of the river, okay, you will find that the silt gets collected. The water, the soil which comes along with the water is the silt. So that is the loamy soil and that is very good for the growth of the plants. Okay. Now, let us see the difference between clay soil and sandy soil. So, in the clay soil, the particles are very small. In the sandy soil, particles are of very big size. Then, in clay soil, particles are tightly packed, and in sandy soil, particles are not closely packed. Then, this clay soil is not aerated, means air is not present more. In sandy soil, air is present, well aerated. Then, in clay soil, it can hold more water. But in sandy soil, it cannot hold water. Okay, clay soil, water does not drain easily, means water cannot go down because it holds water. But in case of sandy soil, water drains easily, means water can go deep inside the layers because it cannot hold water, so water goes down, water drains down. Then this clay soil is fertile soil. Okay, it can grow the plants, but sandy soil is not fertile, not good for the growth of plants. Then clay soil, many of the crops grow in the clay soil, and in sandy soil, not very much crops can grow, not suitable for the crops. But among these, out of these two, third one, loamy soil is the very best for the growth of the plants. Okay. So we have come to the summary. So we have learned today about soil, what is the importance of soil in our life, and then living organisms live in the soil, and what is soil erosion, pollution. Then what is soil profile? That is the vertical section in which the layers can be seen. Then we have studied about three different types of soil: sandy soil, clay soil, and loamy soil. Okay. So this is all about for today. We'll meet in the next video session. Till then, all of you stay home, stay safe, and read the lesson also.